Joan Didion is here. She has written 5 novels and 6 previous books of nonfiction. Throughout her career, she's written extensively about her native state, which is California. Her new book, Where I Was From, returns to the subject of California. I am pleased to have her back at this table. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Let me talk about your love affair and your journey with California. Your first ancestor to head for California was? You know?
Great grandmother.
Grandmother.
Yeah, grandmother.
And how far did she make it?
She made it to Oregon.
To Oregon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And who else?
Well, then, that was in 1846.
Right.
And then a bunch of other people in my family came in 1848, came to California in 1848. And then a few people came a few people came a little later. Like my father's family came, I think, in 1852.
In what way are you a Californian? How has being from California shaped you?
It's everything I am, I suppose. And that's one reason I wanted to look at it in this book, because I came to realize that I was under a lot of delusions about the place and about the way I had grown up.
What delusions?
Just accepting without question the idea that that we had in some way been redeemed by the crossing, that we had been
that the journey to California was a passage somehow?
Was a redemptive experience. I mean, if you made it, if you survived. And I began to question the whole idea that this is not a very sophisticated ethical question. I began to question finally the idea that survival was an end in itself, was a worthwhile end in itself. So there were a lot of questions like that I had.
Have we romanticized the frontier people too much?
I think we have, yeah. I mean, this was the people who settled California were really careless. I mean, they were
careless?
Careless, yeah, they were a careless bunch.
It's like the British used to say about the group that came over here. Among the first settlers were a rowdy group.
Yeah.
What do you think the impact of the climate is?
Well,
an extraordinary landscape of California. I mean, if you drive from San Diego to Northern California, beyond San Francisco, it is rather remarkable vista.
I think that the landscape has a fantastic effect, and has a strong effect on and a depressing effect, oddly enough, because there's no way you can live up to the landscape. There is no way you can be. The works of man mean nothing, right, against the California landscape.
It is so awesome.
It's so awesome, and it is so clearly it can be wrenched apart in a millisecond by an earthquake.
Right.
The whole thing is just more than any person can live up to.
You said about writing this book, in some way, the act of writing the book has freed me from this burden I was walking around with.
I did, yeah.
Burden were you walking around with?
Burden of being, not living up to California, not having realized there was this.
The burden that you were living with a myth about California?
Yeah, well, there was this semi-mystical feeling that people in California had, was that they had arrived there because they had been redeemed from, and they had to now do something with this.
You did not renew your driver's license, did you?
I still have a California driver's license.
Yeah, but you're not going to renew it this time. I mean, for a long time, you always renewed your California driver's license.
I did, and I
still. If you have a New York driver's license, you could be doing something illegal here.
My California driver's license has my New York address on it.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, but you have always renewed it because of what? I mean, there's a story.
Because
in this.
I just wanted it to be perfectly clear that I was from California.
You did?
Yeah.
Why?
It was just really important to me.
Why?
I have no idea.
You don't?
No.
Have you come to any greater awareness because you spent this book on?
I think I probably won't. I think I'll probably get a New York license.
Now?
Now, just because I'm here, yeah. In other words,
All right.
the need to identify went away.
Do you feel, is this somehow freeing you from the burden of living with a California myth, but also this is your final sort of statement that I am no longer a Californian, I am something else now?
I think I am no longer.
I'm a New Yorker, not a Californian.
I think it's probably more personal than that. I think it is. I'm no longer my family's child. You know.
Oh.
I think probably at some level that's what it was. That's what it was about.
In other words, you.
But I never think about stuff like that because I'm incapable of actually dealing with it. So I have to write these other books.
All right, let's deal with it. You no longer think of yourself as your family's child?
I mean, no, because my mother and father are dead.
Right.
So I'm not. I'm no longer. I'm no longer walking around carrying that weight of whatever weight it is to grow up in a family. This was a way probably of working through that.
Are you pretty happy with the life you created for yourself?
Yes, I am. I mean, I'm a generally happy person.
I mean, let's look at it. You have a great marriage.
There are a lot of things I would not rather have done. A lot of things I would like also to have done.
Okay. Do you regret mostly the things that you didn't do?
Didn't learn. Yeah.
It's always what you didn't do that you regret, not what you did.
Didn't learn to speak perfect French. Did not learn to play the piano. Did not really learn to ski. Did not do. I mean, a lot of dumb things
Really?
like that. Yeah.
Oh, see, that's great.
Yeah.
That you didn't learn to ski.
Yeah, I was afraid to go downhill. You know, what I mean.
What else?
Other things I was
Scared of. Didn't. What do you regret not doing?
Learning more. I went to Berkeley, right, and I had a relatively good education, but I didn't take courses that were really going to be hard for me. I didn't learn physics.
What would you have done with physics?
I might have. Who knows? I might have created, achieved fusion. I mean, what you don't know. I could have. I could have worked. I would. There are a lot of things that I would like to have done, which I can remember going. I was working for Vogue in New York after I got out of college, and I went out to California, and I decided because I wanted to be an oceanographer. I didn't want to work for Vogue anymore. I wanted to be an oceanographer. So I went to what was then the Scripps Institute of Oceanography, which was now UC La Jolla, and talked to them about what it would take for me to what I would have to make up to qualify. Well, I would have had to go back to high school, maybe junior high school. I would have had to start all over because I had avoided so many hard things in favor of reading novels, which I would have done anyway. So. I've been lazy, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're sorry about that?
I'm sorry.
How about children?
I have an angel child.
An angel child?
Yes, I have one angel child.
One angel child can make all the difference.
Yeah.
Anything that you wish you had done? I mean, have you written the book that you wanted to write? Was there one book that you think?
You always want to write a perfect book, you know, and of course no book is ever perfect. And so when you begin one, you're really scared, thinking this could be perfect, but it won't be. And when you're through with it, you just want to move on.
But think about this. Think about this. Also by Joan Didion. Didion. Political fictions. The Last Thing He Wanted. After Henry. Miami. Democracy. One of Your Best. Salvador. The White Album. A Book of Common Prayer. Play It As It Lays. Slouching Towards Bethlehem, and Run River. Mm-hmm. That's an extraordinary life.
Well, I've sort of kept at it.
And your biggest regret is other than things that you might not have done? Anything that you wish you hadn't done?
No, no, I can't think of anything that I've done that I wish I hadn't done. You know, I'm sure we all make mistakes, but I mean, we've all made mistakes that we wish we hadn't done, I suppose. But my way of getting on with life is to not look back on that. I mean, just keep moving. I mean, that way lies madness.
Do you ever think about, I mean, do you like the movies?
Yeah, I do like the movies.
What's your
movies.
favorite movie of all time?
Belle de Jour.
It is?
Belle de
Belle
Jour.
de Jour?
Chinatown.
Chinatown, Belle de Jour.
There's Parallax View is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, Parallax View with Warren Beatty.
Right. Yeah, it was an Alan Pakula movie.
And Alan Pakula made that.
Yeah.
Who wrote it? Don't know.
You know, I can't remember who wrote it.
Yeah. Do you wish you'd written more movies?
No, not particularly. No, because I mean that's not like. I always had a good time working on pictures, but it wasn't anything you felt really personally responsible.
I think this is a good time to be creative.
I'm stuck with it. I mean, it's you know, if I suppose if I had to give career advice, I would probably argue against it because I don't think it is a good time. I think people know how to read less. I don't mean literally; they know how to read, but they don't. But they read so literally. They read novels as if they were as if they were telling they read novels in the same spirit that they read the newspaper for some kind of news rather than for something in the shape of the novel. I mean, they don't really
rather than an experience.
Yeah, they don't really. It's an odd time.
Joan Didion, Where I Was From, is this book. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Good to see you.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.